never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand it fully. Appreciate my standing, go out of this world and right on time. Oh, never in my life have I seen the sky light up like this. I'm far away from Earth and I wanna know if you exist. Mission control, do you read me? Send me my coordinates lately. Mission control, am I drifting? Tie me to someone who will love me, yeah. Wait, I think I'll last a bit longer. Find another.
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd Family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to go to prizepicks.com and enter the keyword Ref Brandon to double your deposit up to $100 right now just by entering the keyword Ref Brandon at prizepicks.com. Before we get into today's video, all the guys out there watching this, has this ever happened to you? I got one big, huge gray spot right smack dab in the middle of my goatee. And it only bothers me because it looks like something you would see on a skunk. It's in one spot. But I swear every time either Grace or me shaves my goatee and it grows back, it has more gray in it. But this is the first time that it's grew back with the big splotch of gray right smack dab in the middle of it. So I'm thinking about just getting me some gray just for men and just going gray all the way across, because that one big gray spot looks like a huge birthmark right in the middle of my chin. But anyway, on to today's video. Today we're going to talk about the Royal Rumble that of course happened last night. If you have any thoughts on it, please feel free to let me know. It's kind of confusing because at the beginning of probably December or January, when I first started thinking about the Royal Rumble, my first instinct was, well, Cody Rhodes is going to come back early and then he's going to win the Rumble. But then a couple of weeks ago, the WWE announced that Cody Rhodes was coming back at the Rumble, because originally he wasn't scheduled to come back last night. He was scheduled to be out until right around WrestleMania. So I thought, well, he'll come back early, he'll win the Rumble. But then a couple of weeks ago when they announced he was coming back, I said, well, he's not going to win the Rumble because now it'd be too obvious because they've announced he's coming back. So now everybody expects him to win it, so he won't win it. So maybe that's what they were shooting for, is making people hopefully think like I did and think, well, if they announce he's coming back, he's not going to win it, because he did win the Rumble last night. Even more confusing about it is the fact that he entered at number 30. Now, if you do not announce ahead of time he's coming back, then it makes sense to wait till number 30. But when you announce early he's coming back, I don't know why you wait until the very last entrant, because by the time you get there, everybody knows it's Cody Rhodes. But he eliminated Gunther to win the men's Royal Rumble match. Gunther entered at number 1, lasted about an hour and 5 minutes. Cody Rhodes, as I said, entered at number 30. Gunther looked really good last night. That man is going to be a huge star. That was the opening match last night. And they said that the reason why they announced Cody Rhodes was returning was because they had so many surprises in store and so much up their sleeve that they didn't feel like announcing Cody returning was going to hurt the show at all. But then when you watch it and read the results, you realize there weren't really a lot of surprises. So I'm not really sure what they were talking about. Match number 2, we saw Bray Wyatt defeat LA Knight in about 5 minutes in the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. And it was just as I thought. It was nothing but the lights were turned off, but they had different things to give them lighting because you cannot have a pitch black match when the referee has to count. How can a referee count when a referee can't see? And the match lasted about 5 minutes because that's about all Bray can go. Bray Wyatt is just like Goldberg. The difference between Bray Wyatt and Goldberg was that Goldberg just flat out couldn't wrestle. Goldberg got William Regal fired from WCW because William Regal tried to actually make Goldberg wrestle, and Goldberg had no clue what he was doing, so they fired William Regal for making Goldberg look bad on national television. Whereas Bray Wyatt actually has talent. Look at how long his daddy wrestled. Look at how long his brother's been wrestling. Bray Wyatt has talent. He just focuses so much on his gimmick and his personality that he forgets to focus on wrestling. And if you watch his matches, he gets in the ring and 3 minutes into the match he's going because he's so out of shape. So Bray Wyatt is all character. He's all gimmick. He cannot wrestle at all. I hope this doesn't kill LA Knight because it's his first major feud since being called up from NXT, and then they built it up and he lost. So hopefully they'll find something else to do with LA Knight because he is really, really, really good. And then we saw Bianca Belair defeat Alexa Bliss to retain the Raw Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley enters at number 1, and she wins the Women's Royal Rumble match. So Gunther enters at number 1 for the men and gets down to the final 2, and Rhea Ripley enters at number 1 for the women, and she wins it. So it would have been great to see Gunther win it, and we would have had both matches have participant number 1 win the Rumble. And then in the main event, Roman Reigns, of course, defeated Kevin Owens to retain the belt. But now we are starting to see the bloodline not necessarily break up, but at least we see some people being confused and maybe Sami Zayn coming out of the bloodline because Sami Zayn had a chair and was told to hit Kevin Owens with the chair. He didn't do it. So now, obviously, of course, Roman Reigns is going to want to kick Sami Zayn out of the bloodline. You had one of the Usos be on Sami's side. You had one of the Usos be on Roman's side. So it'll now be interesting to see where this goes. And honestly, nobody knows. If anybody tells you they know, they're just guessing because this whole thing with Sami Zayn being part of the bloodline was supposed to last about 2 or 3 weeks. And now we see how long it's lasted. So when they started it, they didn't have no long-term solution because it wasn't going to last this long. But it was just so popular and people loved it so much, they've just drug it out and drug it out and drug it out. Now it looks like it's going to be Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn at one of the nights of WrestleMania. We know Roman Reigns has both belts. He may defend one belt on night 1 and the other belt on night 2. There's no way to know, but it does look like they're going towards Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn at one of the nights of WrestleMania for, I would guess, the Raw belt. But since this wasn't supposed to go this long and it has, honestly, really, truly, nobody knows. It may just abruptly end on SmackDown this upcoming Friday, and that be the end of it. Again, any thoughts on Royal Rumble? Please feel free to let me know if you have not watched it. I encourage you to go back and watch it. I hate to see them only have 5 matches, but then again, it's not like it used to be where you've got to pay to watch it. They've actually took the term pay-per-view away, and now they call it a premium live event. And they do that because very few people, if anybody, actually still buys it, because almost everybody already has Peacock. And if you have Peacock, it's free. So honestly, really, truly, you don't have to pay to watch it. But I hate to see them only have 5 matches, but when you have the men's rumble and the women's rumble, those 2 matches alone take about 2 hours and 20 minutes. So that's over half the show with just 2 matches. So last night started at 8 and it went till after midnight. So if they would have had 6 or 7 matches, it would have been on till 1:30 in the morning. Again, any thoughts on it, please feel free to let me know. Don't forget about Homes for Our Troops, being a publicly funded 501c nonprofit organization that builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans. Since its inception in 2004, nearly 90 cents of every dollar spent has gone directly to our program services for veterans. Visit at hfotusa.org. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. What kind of car does a sheep like to drive? A Lamborghini. And that wraps it up for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.